What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Around the Monitor. If this is your first time watching, this is the weekly gaming news talk show where every point you make in the discussion is a point towards winning. Basically, we talk through the week's news in gaming. Every time somebody says something funny or smart, I give them a point, usually. If you're watching live in the chat, which you can do every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time right here on twitch.tv/savedata, you can vote along to give or take away points from people you do or do not like. It's good times.
Not based on merit. It just your gut
We all
instinct.
know
Like
what the reality
yeah,
is.
If this game was a meritocracy, it would be much different, all right? We're trying to make television here. I'm your host, Zach, and join me once again. We've got the world's #1 Psychonauts 2 fan, David. Joining us once again, we've got the Ace Attorney, Pridge.
Good evening, everyone.
We've got the man who correctly predicted that Goofy would be in Smash, Chris.
It's Thursday. You know what that means.
We surely do. And last but not least, we've got the hockey sticks and sickle herself, Elise.
The Salvador Salvo has been blowing people up in Destiny right now.
There we go. You heard it. You heard it here first, folks. But we always start the show with a trivia question to determine the order. And you know, last week, Chris, you really hurt my feelings because you complained about how the trivia questions are always video game sales numbers. So I changed it up this week.
What a concept.
Congratulations, gamers. We did it. Our long walk in the desert is finally over. This week, we got a Nintendo Direct. And what a Direct it was. Famously, this has been the longest time between Directs ever. If you know the exact answer to this, please don't say it. But how long
So should I just wait?
Yeah, how many days
Okay.
has it been since the last Nintendo Direct? Not including Direct minis, not including Indie events, Indie World showcases, an actual, honest to God, Nintendo Direct.
I think I mostly know it. I think I saw it somewhere yesterday.
70
but I don't
days.
remember exactly.
Hang on, I'm trying to do math.
Sorry, what was that, Bridge?
570 days.
Over 2 days?
Nope, just 570.
I'm pretty sure I know the exact numbers, so go ahead.
436 days. I think I did that math wrong.
I think it's 564 days.
Oh, I must be
Okay,
wrong.
it's 532.
It is 532.
When was it?
2019 something.
Yeah,
Sorry,
got that.
September
It
20.
was September. Ah, damn. Okay.
The correct order will be David, followed by Elise, followed by Pridge, followed by Chris. Let's go over the topics. Hey, guess what? We finally got that Nintendo Direct I just talked about. What do we think about it? Following that, we've got Bungie is launching a new international office and also plans to have a new IP by 2025. Hey, guess what, folks? It was a slow news week, so let's talk about that Mortal Kombat trailer, Blood Knives.
Mortal Kombat.
Valve has banned the developer from Steam for trying to manipulate scores in the absolute dumbest way possible.
This topic kicks ass.
So good.
Does anybody want this? Netflix's Dota anime is coming next month. 6 Days in Fallujah, talking about something nobody asked for, is not trying to make a political commentary according to the game's director. Reggie Fils-Aime thinks that E3 isn't doing enough and kind of not so subtly hints that Summer Games Fest might take over. Phil Harrison apparently told Stadia developers that they were doing a great job just a week before firing them all. Nintendo is suing developers for the mobile game White Cat Project, which I guarantee none of us had heard of, for a whopping $42 million. The first class action lawsuit has now been filed against Sony for PlayStation 5 controller drift. Xbox is continuing to increase its support for accessibility in games. And hey, guess what? Last week we said Rainbow Six Quarantine is now going to be called Rainbow Six Parasite. Apparently that's wrong. It's just a working title. They might as well just call it Rainbow Six Project Triangle Strategy.
Thank you for that.
Oh, didn't we always know it was a working title, though?
I have no idea.
I don't think so.
I thought
We
it
knew,
was.
Right from the start, we knew that was just a working title.
we knew Quarantine was a working title. We thought Parasite was the last title.
Well, no, they announced it as quarantine, and then COVID happened, and everyone just assumed they were going to change it because that was a horrible idea to go
I
with.
see.
David, you're up first. What would you like to talk about for the first topic of the show?
Let's get into the meat of it. Let's talk Nintendo Direct.
Nintendo Direct. Take it away.
All right, gamers. Here's the thing. Here's the fucking thing. I see all out there on Twitter. I see all these other people doing podcasts that are all like, oh man, I was really disappointed and underwhelmed by this Nintendo Direct. I really expected there to be more. Why? Why did you expect there to be more? There was no reason to think that was going to happen.
But David, it's the 35th anniversary of Zelda. They gave us an old game.
Would that have been cool if they actually even brought it up? Which they didn't. Yeah, it would have been cool.
They did.
Guess what?
No.
Guess what? What we should have learned about Nintendo over the past 532 days between the last Direct and this Direct is that Nintendo, A, doesn't know how to market anything, B, can't really make games or any content in a pandemic. They just are not capable. And C, they are the kings of disappointment. At this point, your expectations should be so low for a Nintendo Direct that you cannot be disappointed. They could give you a steaming hunk of bullshit, literal bullshit, in a box and be like, look, this is our new amiibo, and you would take it and be happy with it because it's more than you expected. Like, what the fuck? There was Mario Golf, there was Project Triangle Strategy Working Title, which looked super cool despite a horrible name. There was some Splatoon stuff. There was a bunch of cool stuff. Stop being like pretentious little gamers, man. They're gonna have more things. They said they're gonna be more Zelda. Should they have had Eiji Aouma come out and be like Aonuma?
Aonuma, yeah.
Horribly wrong. The first time I didn't. Should they have had him come on screen at all? No, they shouldn't. Because that already brought expectations into the Direct.
Should have been Doug.
There was plenty of stuff for everyone, almost everyone. I'm sure there's some whiny people out there, but get your shit together, gamers. Have some empathy for Nintendo, because clearly they don't know what they're doing with fucking the pandemic. No, pandemic stuff. They clearly had no fucking idea what they were doing, they still aren't over it.
Gamers don't rise.
I was gonna
get down.
I was gonna laugh because, yeah, like you were saying, them choosing to put Eiji Aonuma on screen at all was a bad choice. Dan in the chat literally says Eiji Aonuma showed up, literally saying, quote, by literally showing my face, I have already disappointed you, which is a great. Really quick, Dan gives a point. Everybody's shitting on Salt Iron War's name like we didn't just call it the sequel to the last one, World War II.
Man's got a
That's
point right
really
there.
good, Dan.
It is infuriating that Nintendo fans they get a Direct that is basically entirely new shit. New Splatoon, new franchises, Mario Golf is back, and they're like, where's my Metroid? It doesn't exist!
We knew it wasn't going to be here. If you thought Metroid Prime is going to show up anytime before, if you think Metroid Prime is not going to be the last first-party game on the Nintendo Switch, you have fucked up at this point.
I don't think it's going to be out on the Switch. I don't think this game exists.
When was it that it was revealed? Fucking 2016?
Yeah, I think it was revealed.
It was after the Switch was out, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was revealed 3 years ago, and then a year and a half ago they were like, "We got to restart because this."
2017. They revealed it the same year the Switch came out.
Yeah,
okay, because I'm pretty sure I was still in high school when they revealed that.
Oh my gosh!
And at least you'll be out of college, but by the time it's finished,
might be out of grad school at this point. Really quick in the chat, Joe gives a point to Chris for spitting facts about Metroid not existing. Listen, Joe. This is my Beyond Good and Evil 2. This game does exist.
I was going to say real quick, we should bet which comes out first, Metroid Prime 4 or Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Oh, Metroid Prime 4. Are you kidding me? Come on.
I'm going to give it to Beyond Good and Evil 2. We've actually seen something from that game.
You know what? That's pretty fair.
You got a point.
Yeah,
You got me on that
actually,
one.
I'd go Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Damn,
And I think that game could still get canceled.
I'd be pretty salty. Elise, your job is to tell us about the next topic. What's it gonna be?
All right. There's a lot of great topics here, but I'm going to take the dumbest one, which is the developer Very Positive
Yes,
getting banned from Steam.
it's so good.
So the gist of the story is a developer named themselves Very Positive, which if you've seen Steam, you know, if you've ever bought a game on Steam, you see it's like the reviews show up at the top, recent reviews, then all reviews, and then there's the release date, and then it shows developer and publisher. And the developer and publisher are pretty close to the same place, and in the same like blue text, same color, same font as the reviews. So if you just name yourself Very Positive, same capitalization and everything, then it can look to some people like your game has very positive reviews.
Yep.
So basically, and the guy admits that he did this. He made a shitty game in like a couple days or some shit with called it Emoji Evolution. Put it on Steam.
Great name.
With the developer Very Positive, mostly as a laugh, right? He's like, I might make a couple bucks off this, but really it's just for a fucking joke. Patrick Klepek from Vice Waypoint saw this and said, that's interesting. So he got a interview with the developer, which is pretty cool. And basically, that's what the guy says in the interview. It's a laugh. I made this in like not a long time. Just figured I'd test it out, see how it works. Steam saw this and said, fuck you.
Yep.
Steam was like, no, and banned them. They are still in the Epic Games Store.
Oh. I did not know that part of the
still
story.
Be bought on the Epic Games Store. However, it has been banned from Steam. The whole developer has been banned from Steam. And I just want to read the tweet that they made, the developer. I've made a really bad game. This is the only thing I'm guilty of. If making awful games is not allowed on Steam, why haven't they already suspended the CDPR account?
God damn.
Light him up.
That's so savage.
Hell yeah.
So incredibly savage. Pridge, it is your turn to talk about video games. What would you like to talk about?
I'm going right at it. Let's talk about 6 Days in Fallujah.
Hey, this is gonna be a shit show.
All right. There are lots of video games about war, but we tend to sort of move those back to World War II games. We're talking about historical games. Sure, there have been Call of Duty games that are vaguely take place in the Middle East, but they're not clearly supposed to be about the Iraq War. And sure, we have Call of Duty, Black Ops, Cold War, commit war crimes for Reagan game, but that's also mostly like a lot of bullshit. It's not really, it more just uses the word Cold War. It's not actually trying to depict real events from the Cold War. And there's sort of a reason for that. We kind of try and stay away from modern games because they're fresher in our memory. We're more critical of them. And war's always ugly, but it's gotten a bit uglier now that we have more technology to really see the damage it causes. It's kind of why there's not many Vietnam video games out there. You know, not a lot of gameplay about getting hacked to death in jungles, fighting against people that you're invading. And all this brings me down to why the fuck is someone trying to make 6 Days in Fallujah? So for those who don't know, it's based on two different battles during the Iraq War in 2004, basically trying to take back the city. This game, 6 Days, is focusing on the second offensive to take back this city. It costs, I think, around 100 100 lives of American soldiers. The second battle alone ended with 600 civilian deaths. The first offensive probably took over 1,000. It was very messy. The U.S. almost certainly committed war crimes with the use of a chemical compound called white phosphorus.
Yep.
It's very bad and messy stuff. Konami originally announced this game, then like smart human beings said, haha, just kidding, no. Well, someone who's not as smart as Konami is now trying to bring this game back. It's the publisher Victura. And there's this article is about the interview of the head of Victura, where he basically tries to have his cake and eat it too. He says he doesn't want to get into the political machinations that led to the Iraq War, and he doesn't want his game to be political commentary. But he does want to try and talk about what it was like to be a soldier, like, you know, the decisions the Marines had to make during that battle. Well, I'm here to tell him it doesn't really work like that. You cannot make this game without the decision to not talk about what led to the Iraq War is in itself making a statement about the Iraq War. You cannot escape the deep-seated political connotations that this game entails, because we sort of knew it at the time, but we sure as hell know it in 2021. We went to Iraq because of a lie. It was an absolute shit show, and everything, literally everything, was a bad idea. And the decision to try and make a game about this is so tone deaf, so dumb, and so stupid. And he even, I want to find the exact quote, because he's like, the reason we didn't include... Oh, I have two concerns with including phosphorus as a weapon. Number one, it's not part of the stories that the Marines we interviewed told us. Really? The Marines didn't tell you about the war crimes they committed? Oh, gee, Peter Tomte. Oh, wow. I'm so surprised they didn't tell you about that. This whole article is a series of dumbass statements of him trying to be like, we think this game is going to talk about tough issues about the Marines, but not the tough issues about why those Marines are there. Because that's a middle ground that totally isn't half-assing it and stupid. This whole interview is full of shit. He's making a huge mistake. He needs to, from this interview, he's way too cocky and full of himself. He's way too confident that he can do this, so he's probably not going to drop this game, but they should cancel this game. It's a bad idea. You cannot escape the very, very messy connotations that a game like this brings.
Yeah, 100% seconded. I mean, I think it might have been before the stream we were talking about this, and like last week it seemed like there was a kernel of hope that they might be handling this game and trying to handle this game in a tactful way. And then this interview and several other interviews came out, and I was like, oh no, this is gonna be very bad.
There is a reality in which this is handled with the sort of like subversiveness and panache that Spec Ops: The Line handles towards neocolonialism and the Middle East, but
that was still a fictional event.
We do not live in that reality.
Exactly,
is the thing.
Yes,
and
really quick,
even if it
the
was
game
like
that does this, play Spec Ops: The Line, it even touches on the white phosphorus thing. Like it does all of this.
Which I mean, Pridge noted that this is the most recent in the history of people of using white phosphorus on civilians, and it was done by the American government. Oh wait, that's something illegal even by our own bylaws.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
amazing
yeah.
that they're like,
Why do we fucking have it?
it's amazing that they're like, no, we're not trying to make a political game. This is not a political game. We just want you to have empathy with the soldiers and their struggles. No, you can't have empathy for the Iraqi civilians.
Yeah,
no, you
for the
can't have any.
600
No, we're not gonna
civilians
talk
they
about that at
killed.
all.
Hold on. 10% of the game is actually going to involve playing as an Iraqi citizen trying to escape the city.
Okay.
You don't
Sure.
ever play. You don't ever play as insurgents, but you are going to play as a family trying to escape.
Yeah, and they're
Oh.
almost definitely
I'm
not going
going
to
to
talk
take a
about.
guess. That's going to be written horribly.
Yeah.
And
Well,
they're
that's in
almost
here.
definitely not going to talk about like why people might be fighting against the American occupation.
Oh, and if
Yeah.
they do, it'll be a throwaway cutscene that's 30 seconds long.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you think during this joke's bad, I shouldn't say it. Do you think during that running away from the city part, City Escape will play?
Wow. Yep. You shouldn't have said that.
You shouldn't have said that. Nope. that's
in
getting
fact,
cut.
here's the thing. Joe gave a point to Chris for acknowledging the possibility of addressing these subtle subjects with fact. Immediately revokes his point. And Dan also takes.
It wasn't that bad of a joke.
2 points to Pridge from both Dan and Joe. Chris, tell us like it is. What would you like to talk about for your topic of the show?
I don't want to talk about a serious topic after a serious topic because that's
right?
a real bad midpoint for the show. So let's look away from an impending car crash and look at. Oh no, it's an impending car crash. It's E3.
Oh my gosh.
So known pizza salesman Reggie Fils-Aime
God, that's very good. That's very good.
basically said that hey, E3 probably not going to go necessarily great. They're not doing what I, as someone that has worked in the games industry for 30 years, would describe as good forward thinking and planning. And yeah, basically subtly hinted that the Summer Games Fest hosted by the Jeff Keighley will basically eventually consume all of E3's time and like media zeitgeist presence. And one of the big things he highlights here is how that E3's main drive has always been delivering players playable content. And there's much less of an emphasis on the air, partially because of the COVID pandemic.
Yeah.
But then also there's the point where it's like, well, I mean, there was still demos available after immediate demo available now. We saw it yesterday with the Direct. We saw it during Summer Games Fest.
Very good point.
Basically, the main topic here and like what Reggie is telling us about is that like E3 kind of made their niche in the Nintendo market of being like, hey, we're going to innovate and we're going to like make games into a big to do. Every May, everyone's going to come out here to LA and we're going to do a huge thing. Everyone's going to love it. We're going to talk about games. Games are going to be important. This is games WrestleMania week. This is games and Super Bowl week. This is the big week for video games. And as like time has progressed, and of course, major industries or major companies in the industry have stepped away, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, obviously, saying like, we don't really need E3. They have failed to sort of pivot that into, okay, we're going to do something else. We're going to maybe give the smaller devs a bigger focus, or we're going to take these middle A developers, publishers.
Double A is what
Thank
I
you.
would say.
Double A publishers, or like the guys who are like just below the super publishers, and give them a bigger platform. Instead, they just kind of like held on to whatever they could. It's like, oh, we'll push Bethesda harder or push Ubi harder. Like we can't build new stars. We have to just rely on the ones we have, which is precisely how a company dies, or in this case, a games press conference.
Yeah, they're doing so bad.
It's over. This is their last year. They try it this year. They don't make enough money to do it again next year. Advertisers pull out, which is death, and then that's it.
Yeah, I think definitely Keighley ramping up Summer Games Fest, and hopefully it will be better this year than it was last year. I think we kind of have at least a inkling that that's what Jeff is. He's like, I've learned from last year's missteps. It's going to be better this year.
Will he escape the game zone this time, though? He was in that game zone all the way from Summer Games Fest to his award show.
Yep, he's at least he's got his cool sneakers though.
I mean, Summer Games Fest wasn't great, but like it wasn't disastrous. And for a first like year,
It happened.
fine.
E3
I
didn't.
thought it did pretty well, all things considered.
Yeah, I mean, considering it was slapped together in what 2 months, basically, like
yeah.
that's not bad, Jeff.
Yeah.
I think the thing that people wanted more was more of a consistent like through rate, or with E3 you get the here's the big 3 days, everything's going to come at you in 3 days, and it's like Christmas all at once for gamers. And then this was like, okay, well, this week we're going to hear
was like
about
a drip feed,
Ubisoft,
yeah.
and then in 2 months we're going to hear Xbox is going to tell us about Gears 5 again.
I do think the other day E3 thought people cared about E3, but the people just care about news. So
Yeah.
That
Really
is very
quick,
true.
Chris gives a, or not Chris. Chris gets a point from Joe for making the pizza salesman joke at the beginning of that segment, which again was very funny. David, what would you like to talk about for your second topic?
Let's talk about Stadia again, I guess.
A
how does
glutton.
it keep getting on the show?
You know, it was a slow news week.
That's fair.
Listen, like, Stadia's dying. We all know Stadia's fucking dying. They're getting their lunch eaten by fucking xCloud, and soon Amazon's gonna beat them because Amazon seems slightly more interested in games than Google. They at least didn't close all of their game studios, just the one that made, what was that game, Crucible?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
They closed that one, but that was a pretty bad game. So Phil Harrison, former head of, what was it, Sony Worldwide Studios, he did some PS3 bullshit.
And large thumb that
is-
has turned into a human.
Yeah, kind of. Looks a lot like Agent 47 too. Basically, a week before Stadia laid off their entire game studios brand, I think it was two complete studios worth of people, about 150 developers, artists, producers, all these people. A week before they laid off literally everyone, he told them in a big conference call how happy he was with all their work, how their dedication inspires him, and just, these games are all coming along really well. And then, of course, they were laid off the next week, where he got to give yet another meeting, large group discussion, saying, hey, none of you have jobs, get fucked. And it turns out, at the time of the first meeting, he knew he was going to be laid off the next week. It wasn't like big surprise. I said that and I believed it, and then things changed. No. He knew the whole time. Get him out of there. Fucking fire him. Fire everyone at Stadia and just close Stadia completely. It's a piece of shit. It's done. They're not doing anything else. Sell the tech to Sony or something. Just get out, Google. Just get out now. You don't have the chops for this. Video games are hard, I guess. You would think building a search engine that's used by literally 99.9% of the world is harder, but I guess not. Guess not.
Dan gives you a point, says it's the Google Plus of game platforms.
Holy
That
crap,
it
I forgot
is.
Google Plus existed.
Yeah, I unfortunately
Or the
have to
Google
use
Glass of game platforms, or really any Google
Man, I was so
platform
hyped for
that's been
Google
shut
Glass.
down, because there's tens of them.
it. Dan
Google
says,
have made like 50 platforms and currently have about 10 of them.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
2 of them people care about.
Yeah. Elise, what would you like to talk about for your second topic of the show?
All right, new season. I've been back in grinding. Let's talk about Bungie.
Oh, I was like, new season. What are you talking
New
about?
season of Destiny.
What show?
Elise loves League of Legends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the biggest League of Legends fan. You'll always hear me raving about how good that game is. Let's talk about Bungie.
Especially Riot as a corporate company.
Great company. Great
Oh, we
company.
love them.
Huge fan of Riot's here.
God. Okay, so Bungie has recently, and by recently I mean like yesterday, announced that they're like hugely expanding over the next year or two. They're expanding their like original LA office. They're making a brand new office in I believe it's France.
Uh-oh.
Um,
I don't hear any good
they're-
things coming out of game development studios in France.
Lately, no.
The David
Yeah.
Kaja.
or sorry, it's not. Their HQ isn't in LA. It's in Washington, Bellevue, Washington.
It's just
So
outside
they're
of
expanding it from
Seattle.
84,000 square feet to over 208,000 square feet. So
Oof.
more than doubling it, and it's already
Wow.
fucking huge. Yeah, basically they're saying, for one, they're committed to Destiny beyond Lightfall, which is what we have announced. So basically, we got Beyond Light this year. I believe next year's Witch Queen, and then the year after that is Lightfall. They're saying they're committed to Destiny 2, even past that. And they're also committed to Destiny not just as a game, but as a franchise. So they are promoting the current head of Destiny to like the head of Destiny as a franchise, and then they're going to be promoting someone else to be like head of Destiny as a game, which to me means, this is Bungie. They made Halo.
Mhm.
They're making books. There's going to be a Destiny book series, right? There's
Why don't they have that
also-
already, actually?
I'm sure they do.
it's actually amazing that they don't. I mean, there's a lot of fucking lore books in the game, but that's not
Right,
the same
right.
as like an actual book.
Uh-huh.
They also like listen. Another one of these topics is about another game getting a fucking Netflix adaptation. I could see a Destiny Netflix like show or a Destiny movie or some
Also
shit.
surprised
Like,
we haven't heard of that yet, yeah.
how many fucking games are getting either shows or movies in the like next 2 years? Too many.
Too
Too
many.
many. Destiny is definitely getting that. And like I said, we're getting years and years of more Destiny 2, which fine with me.
Well, my
Destiny's a good
question
game.
is, what is this new IP that they're flaunting?
Yeah, and that's the next thing. Is they're not just committed to Destiny, but they're making a new IP. We don't know anything about it. All we know from Bungie is Halo and Destiny. I believe that's all Bungie's ever done. So I'm kind of expecting something new, probably a shooter, probably, in my opinion, a single player game, because Destiny is their MMO and they're not going to make another one of those. I think they're going to make something kind of like Halo, but obviously I could be wrong, and I think it's going to suck. I think it's going to suck for the first 6 months. I think it's going to suck for the first 6 months, but they're going to learn from what they did wrong, and they're going to make it good. And either the like first expansion or the second game is going to be really good. That's my prediction.
Last one gives a point to at least for Destiny LOL. I don't really know. Do you not like Destiny Lost One? Joe gives a point for the proposition of a Destiny show or movie. I never considered that, but I could definitely see it.
There's so
Dan,
much fucking Destiny lore, and it's all in the fucking lore books in the game that no one reads except like 5 people.
I'm very curious to hear your opinion on this one, Elise. Dan says, Destiny's story is as good as Kingdom Hearts. Whether you consider that a compliment or an insult, you're right.
Destiny barely has a story, but it's got so much lore.
So it's the Dark Souls of shooters, you'd say.
It's
yes,
conceptually cool.
It's conceptually cool. It's got like individual stories, but like the actual story of Destiny, of like the main character that you play, is kind of trash. There's like not a lot to it.
Pridge, you're up next. What would you like to talk about?
Let's talk about how the future of controllers.
Oh wow! Then they're gonna take this.
Snap. Talk about it.
All right, so as we all know, drift on the Joy-Cons for Nintendo Switch sucks. But as we all know, Nintendo isn't the best with hardware. Their systems don't run the best graphics and are the most processing power. Nintendo knows its niche, and we constantly forgive them for shit like this. So, the Joy-Con drifts, it sucks, but it's a reality. It's not like it's going to happen to one of the companies that does much better on hardware, right? Right? Right?
Couldn't be, no.
Wrong! We are now finding out that the PS5's DualSense controllers are also suffering from drift. And this honestly surprises me, because I was slightly joking at the beginning, but I really do expect hardware and online functionality fuck outs from Nintendo. I expect them much less from Sony.
Yeah.
And this also really scares me. Why can no one figure out this fucking drift issue? What is happening where two different companies are having this same issue that is not getting fixed before release and is like super messing us stuff up? Is this going to happen to Microsoft? Are we going to get Xbox controller drift soon and we just don't notice it yet?
Why do you think the Elites are $160?
Good point, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe that's what they're. That's what you're paying for.
This article is about a class action lawsuit, which I mean is something that if we hear more about, won't be like for literally years, because these kind of class action lawsuits are monstrosities and take infinite amounts of time to get anywhere. Especially when discovery, which is the process of gaining evidence, will involve going through like tens of thousands of Sony internal documents and shit. So like the actual thing with this article out of a lawsuit is like very like, of course people are going to do it because it sucks and they have a right to do a class action, but we're not going to hear much more about this actual class action for a long time unless Sony like gets really scared and starts trying. No, we're not going to hear more about this for a while. That's just how these work. Yeah. But it's just crazy that they're also having this issue, and again, it's making me nervous that what is happening that is not, because even newer Nintendo Joy-Cons still have the drift.
Yeah, they haven't fixed it, whatever it is.
Yeah, why can't people? What is happening where no one can fix this?
It's only like the Pro and the Xbox controller that don't have it, really.
Yeah, it's so like, any engineers out there have any reason why this is like apparently harder to solve than space travel?
Which one is harder? The PS5 one I don't get. Because the Switch one,
do you think he's just trying to make them too cheap?
Probably for the Switch, but PlayStation. The Switch one is like entirely different format from the other ones. Like it's using this weird like it uses like these ribbon cable things that, from what I've seen, like one of them like frays, and that's what causes a lot of drift. Whereas the other ones are all entirely mechanical, which is probably why the Switch one is so bad. It's compressed, so you can't do it the same as.
And also, like the Joy-Cons weigh what, an ounce each?
Yeah, it doesn't mean like they're so small you can't make them the same as you do.
Yeah.
Like if you put a Xbox or PlayStation like analog stick in it would take up like half the fucking controller.
Yeah.
But Dave, HD Rumble.
Chris, we've been running super long this week. You are the final topic of the show.
Let's talk about the future of controllers. What?
Okay.
Let's talk about Xbox and their gaming accessibility program. Holy shit! It's a good topic. It's a happy thing to end the show on.
Positivity in video games.
So, actually, on this show, 2 years ago, almost to the day. Well, it's actually crazy. We talked about the Xbox, the XAC, the Xbox Adaptive Controller, which, those you don't remember, is basically just a white panel with two round discs and then all of your various face buttons that you use. And it was supposed to be a pretty good adaptive controller for people that have various disabilities, supposed to cover a lot of different people that are differently abled, and allow them to basically, customize this different style of controller in a various format that would work for them, for their specific disabilities. And the first thing we heard basically was, hey, it's pretty good. We saw a thing of them showing it off with Ori and the Blind Forest, a game that requires, a lot of pretty quick movement, and it worked pretty great for that one guy who showed us how it worked. And I think our consensus was, I hope that works. Hope they do more stuff with this. Turns out we haven't talked about it since then. Yeah, they have, because it works on 214 games as of now. Pretty much any AAA that's come out since then it works on. But today, or is this yesterday? 2 days ago. 2 days ago, Xbox announced, "Hey, we're doubling down on this." Because it's gone really well. We've distributed about I think 100,000 of these controllers to people that need them.
Wow.
Basically said, and this is also a really cool thing. They said, "Hey, if you bought a new console and you need one of these, just talk to us. We'll try and figure out a way to get you one." and don't worry about paying for it because you already paid for the new controller, which you can't use, obviously.
That's amazing. Holy shit.
I think they ask you to ship back your regular controller so they can, not make extra. Whatever. That's kind of, you should just give them the controller, but that's fine. And also announcing the XAG, the Xbox Adaptive Guidelines, which basically is a program that is like, hey, we're trying to make more adaptive stuff for people that have disabilities so they can play video games, which is hard because it's a very complicated medium. But basically this allows people that use these adaptive controllers to basically just kind of push a button like the share thing on your PS4 and record a segment. And then you can say like, hey, this does or doesn't work with the adaptive controller, and here's the problem I'm facing with it. Or, hey, here's how I figured out a way to make this work for me personally. Send that in, and then Xbox will take it into like their basically, research drive and figure out ways to make this better for other people or share your solution with other people so that basically there's an intraweb basically of solutions and practices to help people with the adaptive controllers play more games.
Wow, that's super cool. I didn't know all that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I went kind of deep in this article because I want to pull the old one back up. This is awesome, and like Xbox has we just talked about Xbox has kind of set the bar for what a controller, like what a top tier controller should be with the elites. I mean, they're very expensive, but they get the goddamn job done. And with the bigger focus on accessibility we're seeing in games, I mean, Last of Us was a noted example for this. I hope that other companies are just like, yo, can we just flat out wholesale steal this from you?
Yeah. I mean, or honestly, maybe just play ball and be like, hey, can we hardwire this Xbox controller to work for the other consoles? Because shit.
Yeah. I mean, I honestly, I think it would be in Sony and Nintendo won't do it because Nintendo. It'd be in their best interest to just reach out and be like, hey, can we work together to make a better adaptive controller? Like this affects such a small market share, and it is good for people overall. I don't know if we'll get it, but I would really like to see that from the major games
it would be
publishers.
Just a feel good story for everybody. Which I mean, this already is a feel good story for Xbox. I'm sure everybody would love to get a piece of that pie. That being said, David, Elise, and Chris, it's time to go home and become family men because this week's winner is Pridge. Wahoo!
Family mabem.
Pridge, are you ready to talk for your minute to win it?
Yeah, sure. We're just gonna have a random one.
All right, take it away.
All right. Video game companies need to have a new division, a set focus group of people, and they're called the Name Guys because we need to work on better video game names. We've had now a couple topics. We got Rainbow Six Quarantine. Oops, this is during quarantine. We got Project Triangle Strategy and the Salt Iron War. We have literally everything Tetsuya Nomura does. Most things that Yoko Taro does. Where's the focus group who just look at the names of games and just go, hey, you ever consider this name is crazy stupid and isn't appealing at all? And why don't these people exist? And why aren't they empowered to stop Mad Men from making extremely silly and dumb video game names? That's really all I got. Just want to dunk on funny names of games.
That's very good.
Back to Zach.
That's very good.
There's
Nintendo.
Hollywood.
Nintendo could sure as hell use that about like a decade ago when they were naming all their hardware.
The Wii U.
The new 3DS XL. Good lord.
The new Nintendo 3DS XL.
That is going to do it for this week's show. Again, remember you can catch this live on twitch.tv/SaveDataTeam every Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. But if you can't catch it then, it goes up the very next day on our YouTube and on podcast services. So look out for it there. Also, important to announce, we did just drop a new video essay today on video game patents. I worked a lot on that. It is currently not super performing well. If you haven't watched it, please go do so. It means a lot to me. I also think
it's actually a great video.
Thank you. Good, yeah. I think it's a good video. I think it's very interesting. There's a lot of crazy patents in there that, it's wild that Nintendo could patent the fucking D-pad. and just be like, nobody else can make D-pads now for 20 years.
Come check us out. We're gonna stream the League of Legends Clash this weekend, either Saturday or Sunday. Not decided. Keep a lookout
It's gonna be a
on this.
possible shit show. Maybe it'll just go great. Who's to say?
Be a shit show. Almost absolutely.
Important to announce this Sunday,
watch
I will be
both.
back, like a bad habit, with me and Wes playing Outer Wilds. He finally figured out that the sun killed him, so maybe we'll figure out more of the universe's secrets together.
There's hope for our boy yet.
Then that means that's going to do it for the show. Until next time, this has been Around the Monitor.